Alright mate, how you doing? Welcome back. In today's video, I'm going to be reacting to my Euro 2016 predictions, seeing how many I got right and how many I got wrong. Now, let's start off with the winners of the tournament, who I predicted and who actually won. Now, obviously, we know Portugal won the tournament. Slight surprise, not like massive underdogs like an Iceland, for example, but also probably not in most people's top 3, 4, maybe 5 teams to win the tournament. I didn't predict Portugal. We also did predictions with Pro Evo and FIFA, you may remember as well. None of us got Portugal. I say no one got this right. I will say on this particular prediction, I did the best out of myself, Pro Evo and FIFA, because I predicted France, who were the runners-up and got pretty much as close as you can to winning it without winning it. They lost in extra time. 1 goal is what did them. So I got the second best team right. So I'm pretty happy with that prediction. I will say though, it wasn't like I thought Portugal would do well. I didn't really see what Portugal were going to do coming. You know, I didn't think they had it in their locker. FIFA went with Czech Republic. They went a little bit outside the box on it, and the Czech Republic didn't even make it out of their group. So they had an absolute shocker. And Pro Evo went with Germany, who were all right, actually. They were semi-finalists, beaten by France. So that's not a bad prediction from Pro Evo either. Let's move on and look at the actual individual groups and rankings and where I thought teams would come and where they actually came. Starting off with Group A, pretty happy with this. I thought France would win it. They did. I thought Switzerland would come second. They did. I got Albania and Romania the wrong way around, but I'll take it. And in Group B, just like in Group A, I got one team the wrong way around. I thought England would win it and Wales would come second. It was actually the reverse, but I got Slovakia in third and Russia in fourth. So I got that bit right. So again, not the worst group prediction. Group C, I got bang on. I said Germany, Poland, Northern Ireland, Ukraine, and that's exactly what it was. I think some people did call me out in the comments for saying Northern Ireland would finish above Ukraine, but they did, so I'm happy with that. Group D is the first group where I got every single team in the wrong position. I thought Spain would win the group. They actually came second, and Croatia won the group. And I thought Czech Republic would come third, but Turkey came third, Czech Republic came fourth. So, yeah, not my best performance in Group D. Group E, I got it bang on. Again, some people said Italy weren't going to win the group. They thought Belgium were going to do it, but I knew Italy turned up most of the time at big tournaments, and Belgium's golden generation hasn't really done it in a tournament yet. So I was right to go with Italy top, Belgium second. I also got Republic Island and Sweden in the right positions as well, so very happy with that. However, Group F is by far my worst performance. I didn't just get every team in the wrong position. I got the group upside down, right? And this was a difficult group to predict. I think a lot of people were shocked by this one. But I thought Austria were going to win it. They came bottom. I thought Portugal were going to come second. They came third. What Hungary and Iceland did in this group is nothing short of sensational. I thought Hungary would be bottom, but they won the group. And I thought Iceland would be one off bottom and they came second. So hold my hands up. Group F, I was bang wrong. Now, obviously, as we go through to the knockout stages, my knockout bracket looks different to the actual knockout bracket because of the way I predicted the group. So rather than look at the individual quarterfinals, semi-finals, who beat who, we'll just look at how far teams got in the competition and whether I was right. Interestingly, though, the way that I did my predictions did have Switzerland playing Poland in the first knockout round, and that is what happened in real life. However, I predicted Switzerland to edge it. In fact, it was Poland that edged it. So if we look at the round of 16 as a whole, of the 16 teams that got out of the group, I got 13 of them right, which again isn't bad. It wasn't that hard to predict at this stage because most groups had 3 teams go out of them, so it's nothing to brag about. But the 3 I got wrong, I thought Austria would get out of their group, I thought Romania were going to get out of their group, and I thought Czech Republic would get out of their group, but none of them did. The 3 that I didn't get were Republic of Ireland, Northern Ireland, and Hungary. So they all shocked me, right? One thing again I'll say in my defence is none of those 3 teams did make it into the next round, so I was kind of right in that they weren't gonna shock the world and cause a huge upset. I did have Iceland coming out of the group stage, for example, so I got that one sort of right. Let's move on to the next round, but 13 out of 16 for the round of 16. Let's look at the quarterfinals. Now, of the 8 teams that made it through to the quarterfinal, I accurately predicted 5 of them. Okay, I got 3 wrong. Belgium, Germany, Italy, and France, I all thought would go through. Nothing incredible about that. They're all reasonably big teams in international football. I did, though, predict that Wales would make it through to at least the quarterfinals. So I'm happy with that because they were an underdog. However, I didn't think that Portugal would get through. We know what they ended up doing. I actually thought Portugal would get knocked out by Wales in the round of 16. So massive oversight on my part there. I didn't think that Iceland would get through, and we know, obviously, what they did. They knocked us out. They mugged England off. I had England going through to at least this stage. So that was the big upset, really. The major upset of the whole tournament was Iceland knocking out England, I'd say. It shouldn't really have been an upset because everyone should know now that we're rubbish. But Iceland, more so, being such a small nation and have never even played in a major tournament before, it was an upset still. So fair play to them. Didn't see that coming. I thought they'd get to the knockout round. I didn't think they'd get any further, and they did. I also had Switzerland going through as opposed to Poland. So 5 out of 8 for the quarterfinals. Let's move on. So the semi-finals, I got half of them right. I had 2 of the 4 teams that made it through to the semi-finals. The first one I got completely wrong. It was actually Portugal versus Wales. You may have seen I went to the game. The video's on my channel. In reality, I had it being Belgium versus Spain. Obviously, neither of those teams got to the semi-finals, so that was a mistake from me. I should have given the underdogs of Wales and Portugal a little bit more credit. However, in the other semi-final, I got it completely right. I said it would be Germany versus France, and it was Germany versus France. And I even predicted the accurate winner of that game way before the tournament started, because I said France would make it, obviously, to the final. They did. They beat the Germans, so I predicted that right. I'm happy with that. Obviously, my other prediction for the other semi-final was wrong because I had Spain playing Belgium and neither of them were in it. But I anticipated a France versus Spain final, and I tipped France to win. So, overall, I'd say I didn't do that badly. It wasn't like in the Premier League where I had Leicester finishing 17th. You know, I had a shocker in that one. I did a little bit better in this one, I'd say, but I didn't anticipate the love story of Wales, the amazing win of Portugal. One thing I will say is Portugal did very well in this tournament to make it very hard for teams to beat them. Obviously, they didn't lose a game at all, and they won the games they had to win in the knockout round, even if they needed extra time a couple times, you know, penalties as well. They only won 1 match in 90 minutes in the entire tournament. So, in one way, you could say I was right to not predict Portugal to go out and smash everyone, because they didn't. They didn't go out and set the world alight. I didn't think they would do that, and they didn't. But I didn't anticipate how tight they'd be at the back. People like Pepe, unbelievable tournament. He has his dark side, Pepe. A lot of people don't like him when he does that, and I don't either. But as a defender, he's solid. He won 2 Champions Leagues in 3 years, and of course, a European Championship as well now. People like Rafael Guerreiro at left back, really solid. Fonte when he came in. Cedric, you know. The keeper as well, Rui Patricio, was awesome in the net. So Portugal definitely with a surprise package along with the likes of Wales and Iceland. I didn't see them doing what they did. I don't think anyone really did. Fair play to Wales. At least someone carried the home nation's banner with a little bit of pride this tournament. Although Northern Ireland and Republic Island did do very well as well. I should stress that. It was mainly England that let ourselves down in terms of our where we're perceived to be in international football. Obviously, these aren't the only predictions I made, though. I did also predict who would get player of the tournament and who would get top goal scorer. Let's take a quick look at them. I predicted Lewandowski to get top goal scorer. Why? I thought Poland would have an okay tournament. I stand by that. I think they did. He was the top goal scorer in qualification. I thought we'd continue that. In reality, I got this one fairly wrong. He actually struggled to get that many shots in the tournament, let alone goals. He had 1 goal in the end. But if he'd scored the amount of goals we know he can for Bayern Munich, and he has done for Poland in qualifying, he may have been able to get Poland a little bit further than they did. They were unlucky to lose on penalties to Portugal, of course. You know, an extra goal from Robert Lewandowski could have been the difference. So he was nowhere near top goal scorer in the end. The actual winner, of course, was Antoine Griezmann with 6 goals, which is pretty much always going to be enough to get you a golden boot in a tournament if you can get to 6 goals. There's a lot of people underneath him joint on second on 3 goals. It was like Giroud got 3, Payet got 3, Ronaldo and Nani got 3. So there was a big distance between Griezmann and the guys underneath him. So fair play to Griezmann. He was probably the pre-tournament favourite for top goal scorer, along with maybe Lewandowski and Ronaldo. Ronaldo probably hit par, I'd say, in terms of goals for the tournament. Could have done better, but still got 3. Lewandowski was way off. Griezmann delivered. And in terms of player of the tournament, I predicted Paul Pogba. Now, I was right that it would be a Frenchman, at least, because obviously he went to Griezmann, the player of the tournament. Pogba had a few good games, a few bits here and there. I mean, he got dropped for the second game. Deschamps had a kind of squad rotation policy for the group stages. Where Pogba probably went wrong in this tournament, or wasn't able to fulfill his potential at least, is the fact that when Deschamps found his team that he liked, that beat Iceland, that beat Germany, he stuck with it, and that involved Pogba playing in a CDM role. That only really came about because Kante got banned for a game. And then when they worked so well in that team without Kante, he left it like that. He didn't play Kante again after that, or at least he didn't start him. So Pogba ended up playing deeper than he probably would have liked to, and where he can do the most damage is certainly going forward. There's been talk about him going for £100 million or euros or whatever this summer transfer window. I think the fact that he didn't really make an impact in the final may have had a slight impact on his transfer value if he does end up leaving Juventus. That's all for another video though. We will do a full transfer window i.m.o down the line. Drop a like on the video actually if you'd like to see a transfer window i.m.o for the summer. But yeah, Pogba, he was nowhere near player of the tournament in the end. Griezmann got it. I'd say after him, the next candidates would have probably been Dimitri Payet. On stats, I know you think I'm bloody, jumping aboard the Payet bandwagon, but UEFA Euro 2016 officially did their own stats for the tournament. They called it like a player barometer, which measured how well players have performed. And Dimitri Payet did actually win that. I'll leave a link to it in the description. So he was technically on stats, and I'm not always arguing in favour of stats. I'm just telling you about them. Payet was the player of the tournament. I think other people that could have been candidates for it, maybe Ronaldo. He probably only played his best in 2 games, but those 2 performances got Portugal to the final. Yes, he had 0 impact in the final because of the injury. If he had had an impact in the final, and he'd been the reason they won, I think he would have got player of the tournament. A couple of the Welsh boys did really well. Gareth Bale, Aaron Ramsey, joint most assists in the tournament. Joe Allen was solid. Ashley Williams was solid. Pepe at the back definitely deserves plaudits for Portugal. Koscielny was really good at the back for France all tournament. Generally though, the player of the tournament will either go to the team that won it or the team that came second. We saw Messi get the player of the tournament at 2014 World Cup when Argentina came second. So yeah, it went to Griezmann, probably deserved for his goals. So to recap, we've talked about the predictions I made and we've talked about what really happened. I didn't get any of the big ones bang on. I didn't get the winners, I didn't get the top goal scorer, and I didn't get the player of the tournament. So overall, you'd have to say it's probably a fail, isn't it? Because if I got at least one of those 3 right, I would have had a leg to stand on. But I didn't. I came close with some of them, but close isn't good enough. I need to massively up my prediction game for the next Premier League predictions, which I will be doing as soon as the transfer window's kind of had a little bit more time to get going, because there's no point making predictions and then someone goes and buys some massive player that I didn't take into consideration for my predictions. So I need to wait probably to the end of the transfer window before I'll make those predictions, or at least until the league starts. Drop a like on the video if you've enjoyed this, subscribe for more, leave a comment below of what other i.m.os you'd like to see on the channel. But until next time, I'll see you when you're older. Don't go changing.